Sunday morning. Welcome back to the Signature Movement. It's your girl Tanya D. Floyd. I had something on my mind today. I'm doing what I do best on my Sunday mornings. I've been on my timeline, done a little research, soaking in some vitamin D rays, and we chilling. Welcome to my office for Sunday mornings, okay? But yeah, I woke up and I started going through my timeline, and I noticed this post about what to give your real estate agent when your transaction closes. And I saw a resounding level of what I'm gonna call hate for real estate agents, because most people were like, I don't give them nothing. They got this big fat commission off my transaction. Blah, blah, blah. Now, while I do not have a problem with you not giving your agent a gift, most agents give gifts for their buyers. I'm not exactly sure about the seller thing. I like giving my sellers a gift because you chose me to represent you and your property and blah, blah, blah. But I don't understand why people don't understand why real estate agents are so valuable. Let's take, for instance, let's put this in perspective and say an attorney. I don't care what kind of law you need one for. Your attorney is going to bill you $350 an hour plus for representing you in that case. No matter how long it takes, their hourly rate is what it is, right? And you're going to pay it. You might not like the fact that you need a lawyer, but you're not going to say, my lawyer got all this money off me, they better blah, 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 like you are a real estate agent. Because you think real estate agents get this big fat piece of change off of you. You take it personal. And I'm not necessarily understanding your thinking on that, but I want to give you a little bit of perspective on how things work for us. So let's take a transaction here in Maryland. The average home sale could be, let's make it easy. Let's say you buy a home for roughly $350,000, right? Okay. You hired your agent, let's say in April. You hired your agent in April. You signed the agreement, the exclusive representation agreement that says they are your agent, right? And in there, they might have a little clause about what happens if you cancel, or a certain amount you have to pay if X, Y, and Z happens, right? So let's just say you're looking for a house for $350. Okay. How many hours a week do you spend with that agent? How many hours a week does that agent take out of their week to help you find the home that you want? How many homes do you see in that week? How many times did that agent get in their car and come to meet you and see that property or those properties? Okay. Stop right there. Now let's back up a little bit. How much time did your agent spend researching the list of properties out there on the MLS before they brought you that, short list for you to go see based on your criteria? Now, I don't care how many times this has been done. The first house you ever go see, you're going to be like, oh, well, I forgot to say I needed X, Y, and Z. So let's add that to the list of criteria. Okay. Then the next house and the next house and on and on and on. How many houses did you see that week? How many houses did they go through before they narrowed down the list to bring you that list of the ones that you actually going to physically go see? How many times did they get in their car? How many miles did they drive? How many hours did they spend with you? How many hours did they spend talking to you about what was going to happen during that process? How many hours? How much time? How many dollars is that? You don't think about it in those terms, but time is money. Okay. You've seen 10 houses now. You have a good idea of what you really, really want, and you have a good idea that everything you've seen is not what you want. Let's say they show you 20 houses. From April through June or July, they've shown you every house in your budget on that market. Oh, speaking of your budget, did you have a mortgage loan officer already? Did you come into this relationship here with your real estate agent knowing who was going to finance your loan? 9 times out of 10, you did not. So you told the realtor, you know what? I don't know where am I get this loan from? Because you were somebody's referral probably when you found this realtor. You didn't go do research to find a realtor. Somebody told you about one and you called them up. So, yes, your realtor has relationships with lenders who about their business. So they're going to say, hey, here's my short list. Call them up, see who got the best rates for you, blah, 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 work it out. Bring me back your letter. We're going to go looking. Okay? They forged those relationships in advance so that you will have an easier time getting your loan approved and get to the closing table shorter, right? They did that. Okay, so you get a lender, you get the pre-approval letter. It's everything you need. You scared, but you gonna end up at the top of your budget probably. If you're looking for a house for $350, that's probably because that's all you can afford, right? Right. Okay. Or you're so well off, you just want to keep it in that range because that's what you want your mortgage to be monthly. It's fine. Either way, it's fine. But let's go. Okay, so now you got everything you need. You and your realtor out there beating your feet, hitting that pavement. Y'all looking at different houses and you getting your list all finely tuned and you see everything you want. But nothing's perfect because there is nothing perfect for you. You have to cultivate something perfect for you. You got to customize it. So if I'm your realtor, I have that in mind, and I'm going to go into each property saying how you can adjust it to be what you need it to be, because I have a little bit of experience in the renovation department. That's what I do. Okay? So now you have the benefit of all of my experience with homes, right? I'm the house whisperer. I look at the homes, and I figure out, what could this be? What does it want to be? What style is it? What can we do to adjust this for the least amount of money? So you get all that with me. This is a package deal. Okay. So we done seen 22 houses now. And most of them are a similar style because in Maryland, you getting a single family with a lot of yard. You getting a single family with a little teeny bit of yard. Or you getting a townhouse in the 350 range. The ones with a lot of land, they out far. An hour from your job. Period. It's not happening right here in PG County and near. No. So yeah, 350 ain't gonna go far. You mad because it ain't going far, but that's what you got. So yeah, we needle in the haystack in it with you. Just know that. Don't take it personal. Don't be offended. It is what it is. We know it's a needle in the haystack. That's why we do good research because we know what areas have what. We know which areas are going to be more suitable for you because we have listened to you and we know what you want, right? Okay, finally on house number 23, you go, oop, this is the one, let's put in an offer. Okay, you know what that means? That means your agent has to go through no less than 15 legal real estate documents, finding, the package that you need based on your type of financing, based on where you live in, what jurisdiction. And now, you can't even just get all the forms for all the jurisdictions. Sometimes you have to be a member of multiple associations in order to access their forms. So we're going to talk about those fees in a minute. But let's just say I got to go through my PG forms, my Maryland forms, and a couple of other, ad hoc forms that my company uses or whatever. But I got to put a whole bunch of forms together in that package for you to sign so we can add it to your contract, which is 11 pages in Maryland. And then all the different addenda, blah, blah, lots of papers. We got to put it all together, get it e-signed by you, and then forward it to the seller and see if they'll accept your offer. If they do, then they come back and we might have a couple of more forms to add to that package. We got to negotiate though in between. So while we negotiating for you back and forth with the seller's agent, we finally get a price and a home inspection timeline and all that agreed upon. How much they going to give you back if something's wrong with the house, little repairs that need to be done by the home inspection, X, Y, and Z. Those kind of contingencies we got to work out, right? That's time. We talking back and forth on your behalf. So when you say we're going to get all this commission off of you, well, we're doing all this negotiating for you on behalf of you. Okay. So After we get all the 1,000 forms and the package and everything signed and everything's moving, now comes your loan process. Who's talking to your loan officer to make sure they're on track? Your agent. You at work or at home or wherever, and you going, well, I haven't heard from my agent in 3 days. What's going on? Oh, we've been busy. Every day talking to somebody on your behalf. Mind you, your lender is doing work, yes. But we agreed to some things in that timeline. So, did you have a home inspector in mind that you wanted to work with? I got a list. Here's my short list. Call these people, see what they talk about. Get that home inspection done. Oh, we're going to show up for that too. Yes, so I'm going to get in my car. I'm going to use my miles and my time. And I'm going to come watch your home inspection get done. And your home inspector going to come back with a list of things going on with the house in 2, 3, maybe 3 days, tops. We ask for 5 sometimes, but a couple of days we're going to get a 35-page report with everything they don't like about that house based on their professional expertise. You pay for it, but we still keeping things in line for you, right? We coordinating. So, we're looking at the report. We're talking to you about it. Here's what you should ask for. Advising you. This is what you should do. If the seller comes back and says, hey, we're going to fix all that, then that's a good day. But they usually don't. So when they come back and say, nah, we're not doing all that, but we'll give you these $2,000 as a credit somewhere, some kind of way. We're going to knock it off the house price or whatever, how they going to do it. There's many ways to do it, but whatever they offer you, we're going to come back and talk about it with you. Time. Now you're talking about it and you finally come to an agreement and you're moving forward with this purchase of the house. Your loan officer's still doing their thing. But who's checking in with your loan officer every few days to say, how long have you, what's your average going on these days? Because depending on the market, the loan officers have a load too. So sometimes they can't get to your package fast. But who going to get on their nerves for you? Your agent. Call them all the time. Hey, is everything going all right? You need anything from me? You need anything from the buyer? Let me help you out with that. Because my job is to make sure that you get this house because you want this house. And your time is precious just like mine is, right? Okay, so fast forward. We all the way through the loan process. We about to go to closing. And something comes up. Well, the seller needs an extension for blah, blah, blah. They want to rent back or so and so and so and so. We got to change some contract terms. The contract that I had to become familiar with, so I had to go to classes and continue education. And every now and then I have to take another class at my brokerage for blah, 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 because the forms change every October in Maryland and because of this and that. And the law is a living thing. It changes often. So it's my job to know what's going on, and it's my job to inform you, right? So I'm doing that while you at work or sleep or on vacation or whatever you do. I'm doing stuff, okay? On your behalf. Finally, we get everything all together and we getting ready to go to closing. Well, your lender didn't come back to you and give you a document that spells out for you every single thing that you need to bring to the closing table. Whose job is it to know that they didn't do that and to call and say, hey, my client don't want no surprises. What we need at this table, can you give me this form, please? I know what it's called. I'm not going to trouble you with that. But the point is, I would like for you to have a very, very, very detailed explanation of everything that you're paying for and what you need to bring to the table when you sit down and sign for this house. If everything goes smoothly and you had a nice 30-day close, I've only spent however many hours it took for me to research your stuff, get the list together, go back to the list 3, 4, 5 times every time you saw a new house and change the list of things you wanted in the area you wanted to be in based on the budget that ain't enough to go where you wanted to be. And then we went house to house and all that, that whole thing. Whatever time I spent doing that, now 30 some days later, we getting ready to sit at this table and sign these forms. But you are informed. You have down to the penny what you need to bring and what you paid for. Because even in the beginning, your good agent sat with the lender and said, hey, I don't want them to have no surprises. So Can you give me an example at the top of their budget? What was the most they would need to bring? And what are the most taxes and everything included on that document that they will need to pay to get this house? So you can have worst case scenario at the top of your budget. If the HOA included and this and that and the other, there's a specific list I'm going to have for you so you can know before you go outside how much your mortgage is going to be, how much your taxes is going to be, how much your HOA fees going to be, how much your closing costs going to be. Okay? Estimate, but still pretty close. So at the end, I'm going to do it again because things change. Because depending on how many days the house been, going through this thing, the people done already paid taxes that year or the taxes getting ready to be due, all the numbers change just a little bit. So it's my job to know that. Okay? So we sitting at the closing table, boom, 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 100 pages later, you done signed it, got your keys, yay, you happy. And you notice that the brokerages get to split, let's say 5%. That's the going rate these days. So the brokerages got about 17.5. Okay. So split that 17.5 in half. And matter of fact, let's say they got 18,000 because it was a little more than 350. Nice even number. Each brokerage took $9,000 out of that commission. Now, how much does your agent get? Depends on which brokerage they're with. Some brokerages have fees that they, subtract from each commission. Some brokerages have percentages that they split with the agent, like a 60-40 whatever. The agent takes 60% of the commission and the brokerage is 40, depending on how the structure is. But let's just say the agent gets to keep 100% of their commission. So they walk away with $9,000 for that one sale. Now, brokerage fees might not be a percentage rate, but there's something that you have to do to be associated with that brokerage because of all the stuff that they do for advertising and training and X, Y, and Z to keep, their agents happy and up to date. They have systems and all kinds of things they pay for. So say your agent gets to keep their $9,000, but they have some brokerage fees. Let's say every year agents have to pay their association dues. Now, remember when I was telling you about those forms, some people have to be members of multiple associations so that they can get access to all the forms they need based on where they're licensed. So, for instance, yours truly needs forms from Maryland, which are standard if you got a Maryland license. You with the Maryland Association of Realtors and wherever you originated. It's confusing. Let me just break it down to say I'm a member of a few associations just from that one membership. But I also have a DC license. So now I have to become a secondary member of a DC chapter of an association so I can get access to the DC forms I need. So that's more fees. So let's just say $1,000 a year for association fees. Plus, you got access to the MLS. You pay that quarterly. That's another $100 and something, right? So $400 a year for that. And then there's other fees that I won't trouble you with. But as an agent, it's kind of expensive. And then you got to have your own systems and processes and ink and this and that and others to operate your business because you pretty much an independent contractor. You have to have your own office and your own stuff. Even if you go to the brokerage office to do certain things, you're just going to have a backup because this is what you do. You usually work from home or from your mobile, wherever you are. But yeah, it's expensive, okay? So let's just say you take home $8,000 from each transaction. That could be fair. Yeah, let's take a little piece out of every transaction. Let's say you have multiple transactions in a year. If you don't, then you only made $8,000 because you sold one house. How many houses do you have to sell in order to get a living wage as a real estate agent? How many houses do you have to sell to make a living wage as a real estate agent? Well, let's see. How many hours a week did you spend with that one client trying to help them find a perfect home? How many times can you do that in a week? How many clients can you have at one time and still be on top of everybody's stuff as a real estate agent and make a living wage? You see what I'm saying? So if I got 3 clients buying homes, how am I going to spend 10 hours a week with you? I got to spend 10 hours a week with them and 10 hours a week with these other people. So let's say I got 4 clients for 1 month trying to buy a house. I can't be everything to all people, right? It's only 24 hours in a day. When do I get to live my life? Feed my kids, take a break, get my feet done, all that kind of stuff. I gotta take care of me too, right? So, yeah, I made a nice commission off of you and your transaction. However, I made $8,000 that time. If I don't do it again that month, I made $8,000 that month. And if you multiply that by 12, if I close one every month, then I have made $96,000 that year. I made less than you did on your job. And I did more work than you did. Probably. Because when I went outside and I went online and I spent hours doing this and that and the other on the phone and on the internet and these places, you were comfortably sitting in your chair, moving the mouse every few hours while you watch TV, moving the mouse every few minutes, or having a conference call here and there or whatever. I'm not trying to minimize what you do, but please stop trying to minimize what I do. It's just not fair. So don't say your agent got this big fat commission off of you like we don't do anything. If I make $100,000 a year, it's because I closed on more than one property a month, and it was for a nice piece of change each time. Because if I do the same work and I only sell a house for $165,000 in Baltimore, because I could easily do that in Baltimore, but I ain't never doing it in DC. If I sell a $160,000 house in Baltimore, then I got to work twice as hard to make the $8,000 I would have made on the $350,000 down here in PG County. But that's for me to know and me to worry about, right? I don't get to transfer my struggles to my clients. But please stop saying we make all this money off of you. We did a lot for you. If you had to do it, you wouldn't get it done because you don't have the time or the energy or the skill. Please stop. We do a lot and we know a lot. We've taken the time. Yes, it's our chosen profession, but we ain't getting over on nobody. Rest assured. I spent 3 months with you to make $8,000. So how much did I make in that month? Each month. I made less than $3,000 a month working on your transaction. Okay? If I only spent three months. Normally, I've been working with you for more than 3 months because you don't like what's out there. So let's just say, let me see the longest. Let me see. What was my... I spent a year trying to sell a house once. A year. I had some struggles with the sellers and the buyers, but a year. And I ain't even going to tell you how much I made in commission off of that house. You would say, why you keep doing this? Quit. You wouldn't understand. But yeah, it's tough out here. So don't act like, we not doing nothing. And it's so easy because you can't do it. You don't have space in your life to do what we do. Just be respectful. Give us a commission. And every now and then you might want to just give a gift card for something that you know they like because, we did a good job. We got it done. And you know how much we get paid if we don't get it done? Donuts. Spent 6 months with you trying to get you through the closing, and your lender come back and say they not going to approve you. You going to quit. You ain't going to keep looking because you couldn't get approved for that loan. The next one probably going to have the same problem with you. So yeah, we could spend all the time in the world and still not make 1 cent. Is that right? I'm just saying. Just saying. I spent 3 months of my summer with one couple. They ain't buy a house. I don't even know how many hours I spent, but I know I showed them 22 houses. They just stopped responding. I guess they taking a break. How much I get paid? Nothing. So yeah, it don't all balance out. It don't all, even out in the wash and all that whole thing. But you make more than me. I'm almost positive. If you qualify for the 350 house, you definitely make more than I do. So stop counting my pennies. Mind your business.